Welcome to the Fantasy Gossip Talk Show, where we discuss the works of Father Comes Home from the Wars by Susan Laurie Parks and The Odyssey by Homer by talking to the individual characters to really capture their points of view. I am your host, Olivia Kim. So today, we have two sections, one discussing each book. To give you a little bit of background into what the topic is today, we are talking about the betrayal of family. However, there are many different layers to the betrayal of family. What would that be? Well, in both of the works we're looking at today, we will be talking about the layers of betrayal, such as a lack of morality and the question of loyalty. Let's get into it. Odysseus, welcome to the show. Thank you very much, Olivia Kim. Thanks for being here. I appreciate this. It's good to have the main character of one of the most famed works of literature here with us today. So, let's get into this touchy subject right away. During the war, you were able to achieve some of the greatest accomplishments, and you were an insane fighter. To achieve this though, you had to adapt and hone a plethora of non-stop trickery, a quality which you unfortunately kept as you came home. How would you say your mindset that stayed the same affected your family? Yes, it is true I accomplished a lot, but I agree with you. I brought back things from the war that weren't meant to come back with me. I saw everyone as my enemies in the subconscious level, even my own family. Wow, that must be tough. Not actually. I was able to make sure who was really on my side. Thank you for your insight. Let's see how your wife and son think about your return home. Penelope, Telemachus, it's so good to see you too. Thank you for inviting us. It's good to see you as well. So Penelope, I was just talking to your husband about how he brought his trickster side back home, and even tricked you to make sure you were on his side. How did you feel about this situation and how did it affect you? The first time he approached me after he came back, he was disguised as a homeless man. I didn't know it was him, and he weaved an elaborate lie about hosting himself and his crew. Every time someone mentioned Odysseus within the 20 years he was gone, it made me so upset. With the suitors constantly polluting my house and trying to take my hand, although the only one I wanted was my husband, I wanted to know if this homeless man was telling me the truth. There's one secret actually. I tested Odysseus disguised as a homeless man with the secret, and I'm not sure I should reveal this to you either. Come on now, we have a very supportive audience. Who's curious to know what she said to Odysseus? Okay, I'll tell you guys. Basically, he made our bed out of an olive tree, so our bed cannot be moved. To test him, I basically tricked him into thinking our bed had moved when it didn't. He got upset, questioned who moved our bed, and revealed himself. Oh, he asked you who moved your guys' bed? Yeah, he did. I said I tested him because I was scared some bad man would fool me, but I guess I was deceived by my own husband. Keep this between us, but the implication that someone else had moved the bed, basically an accusation of infidelity, hurt a bit. I would imagine so. You had been loyal for 20 years. Let's hear from your son. Telemachus, I heard that your father had the same disguise of a homeless man when he first approached you as he did your mother. Yes, that is quite true. I also heard that with his disguise on, he dissed you saying he would have fought back to the fighters and wished he were you instead so he could fight. How did you feel in that situation? Yes, that is also very true. He definitely put down his parental role completely and disrespected me. I guess he is my father, and from all the great things about him I heard, I was expecting him to be a better person. However, what he said wasn't surprising. I hear the suitors verbally abusing everyone in the household every day while they waste away my home. Those words were quite the punch in my stomach as I have not been able to do anything about the suitors, and I was pretty devastated about it later when I thought about how it was really my father who said those things. He basically implied that he didn't even see me as his own son. Did you really believe it was your father when he revealed himself? No, I actually didn't. However, he said pretty sharply that I shouldn't be surprised to see him. I mean, he did trick me. How am I supposed to believe him right away? He just shows lack of acknowledgement for my mother and I, and he truly isn't the greatest father. Ouch. Looks like he questioned you and your mother's loyalty. Here, we have the greatest hero Odysseus. Looks like he isn't the greatest in everyone's eyes any longer. Let's move on to the second section. Hero, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you here. Thanks. I'm glad to be here too. Okay, let's get started. So our sources tell us that you had the chance of fighting the war with the promise of freedom, though you didn't really have a choice. How was this so-called decision for you? As you said, it wasn't really a decision. I had the choice of injuring myself so badly to the point where I wouldn't be able to go and have to face Boss Master's punishment on not just me, but also everyone else, or I would go and suffer in the war. Both choices were not ideal. However, I did end up going to war. Before going, what were the reaction of those around you? Well, I confessed that I was the one who snitched on Homer to Boss Master when he was trying to escape. That was when I lost all respect of others had for me. Though, I think Penny still stayed by my side. Okay, let's call Homer, Old Man, and Penny in. Hi, how are you? We're doing well, thank you. So Hero here just told me that he snitched on you, Homer. How does that make you feel? I already knew he was the one that snitched since Boss Master told me while he was drunk. However, it was more disappointing hearing it come out of his own mouth. I felt like he truly betrayed me. All we have is trust between us, especially as slaves. I agree, I was incredibly upset. Hero's betrayal of Homer felt like he just cut off my foot, even when I was not the one who got betrayed. I don't want anything to do with Homer. I disowned him. It's like losing a son before he even goes to war. How tragic. I am so sorry to hear that. Penny, how was your experience with Hero? I deeply loved him and I waited for him for years. However, when he came back, he did the most gut-wrenching thing he could have done to me. And what was that? He blatantly pulled out a picture of his new wife, asking me to fix up our home before she arrived. I was so shocked. I was like, I'm your wife, who even is this? I felt so betrayed. All that time I was holding on to nothing. Also, before he showed me the photo, he gave Homer and I gifts. He just showed me it didn't mean much, and it felt like my whole world was collapsing. He betrayed my trust. He completely shattered it. That's why I left with Homer. That sounds absolutely horrible. Hero, what do you have to say for yourself? Do you even feel an ounce of guilt? No, I didn't feel any guilt. Alberta, my new wife, like the gifts I previously gave Homer and Penny, was like a gift. She's my new wife, and it's too bad others don't feel the same. She's a great thing in my life. It sounds like Hero, like Odysseus, isn't a great person either to his close family. This could seriously happen to any of us. We just uncovered the true nature of these big heroes. What could we uncover next? Come by next Monday to uncover more crazy sides of famous people.